Piston fan. Their slogan was, we come to work. That's what Detroit about. That's why they used it. It's a team thing. They won 2 championships, a team. There was no star. No mayor can come in here and be a star. It's a team thing. No governors can come here and think you can do it by yourself. It's a team thing. You got communities. They got ideas, too. The only thing wrong with Detroit, people have lost hope here. Residents, city workers, so much corruption. They lose hope. But I grew up here. I love this city. I think it can come back. I've been working for the city 24 and a half years. Within the last 10 years, we took 4 pay cuts, and then an additional 10% wage cut. I've lost a home.
When you take all of the decisions out of the city of Detroit, all of us, then what do you have? Exactly what we got, a lot of problems. Every time the city seems to fall into a problem, it's always on the backs of us workers.
You wake up out of a dead sleep and you jump behind the wheel and take off driving and try to get everybody there safe, not knowing really what you're pulling up to. I'm not eligible for Social Security, so the pension is my sole salary at this point.
We've been in business here 39 years. We've seen a lot of changes in Detroit. The area was a lot of industry, a lot of city workers. It's getting very tough for the city workers. It's getting tough for us as a business people.
Response times are increasing because of the closing of companies, which takes your insurance rate through the roof. So all the things that affect us affect the citizens.
I worked for the city in different capacities for 29 years. I feel like an old jacket. They use me up and they throw me away. In my condition, nobody's gonna hire me. I'm 68 years old. Half the times, I can't get my blood pressure medicine. It's either feeding myself, blood pressure, or paying bills.
$754. By the time they take all the deductions for I have my car insurance, my house insurance, and my health insurance taken out. So the time they take all that, I'll get about $300 after they take all that out. I don't understand it. I can't see how the governor is allowing this to happen and what they're doing and they want to blame it all on the seniors. Not only the seniors, but the city workers. And we worked hard. I know I worked hard.
I've been in Detroit since 1946. I was 14 years old when I came in. I don't live large at all. I wish I could. I don't know when the last time I've been shopping. I only get $1,100, and I'm 81 years old, and I need every penny that I can get and that I do get. And I'm very, very upset about the idea of them taking away my pensions that I worked 30 years for.
I think it's terrible that they talk about Detroit like they do, because Detroit has been very good to me.
I have a lot of city workers coming in with their uniforms on, Detroit Water Department, Police Department, Fire Department. I get a lot of people, the Border Patrol come in. So if I lose that customer base, I'm going to be in a position where I might have to close down. If they take away their pensions, if they start cutting jobs, it's going to cut into a large percentage of not only our business, but other businesses that are in the city of Detroit. We're here. We've been here for 26 years. We're still trying to do business in the city.
Detroiters are survivors. They tough, they adapt, but only can do so much when your politicians ahead of you and we're not on the same team. We're not gonna let Detroit be erased, bulldozed to where we're gonna fight to the bitter end. Detroit gonna survive.
Two anti-government, self-described revolutionaries have shot up a pizza restaurant as well as a Walmart in Las Vegas.
The internationally syndicated political series, The David Pakman Show, provides progressive talk, analysis, and interviews with the nation's youngest radio and television host, David Pakman. Find out more and catch up on all the latest episodes by visiting our website at freespeech.org.
Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Week and to get to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that, but now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. You know, we've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free Speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. Number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. Three, it's the best programming you'll find, news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going. And that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll could do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Pakman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. To help you make up your mind, if you can just help us with $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. Double that to $120 a year or $10 a month, a Free Speech TV mug and a Free Speech TV T-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a Free Bill Press Show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help.
same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Two anti-government, self-described revolutionaries have shot up a pizza restaurant as well as a Walmart in Las Vegas.
The internationally syndicated political series, The David Pakman Show, provides progressive talk, analysis, and interviews with the nation's youngest radio and television host, David Pakman. Find out more and catch up on all the latest episodes by visiting our website at freespeech.org.
Hey, good morning, friends.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
Pope Francis says more than anything else, he'd love to be able to walk out of the Vatican and go out and get a piece of pizza, slice of pizza, without getting recognized. And he also said he may only be there another 2 years. Oh no, Francis. Come on. Say it ain't so. We need you. What do you say? Hello, everybody. Here we go. It is a Monday, March 16. Can you believe it? We are past the Ides of March, down on the downhill slope now for the month of March. Great to see you today. Hope you enjoyed the weekend as much as I did. Had a good weekend and are got your batteries recharged and are ready to go into the new week with all the excitement of the new week and all the news of the day. Congress coming back in town. The big Gridiron dinner here in Washington, D.C. on Saturday night. President Obama, Governor Terry McAuliffe, and Governor Scott Walker were the entertainment. A good time had by all. Apparently, yours truly was not there. I'm not old enough or white enough, I guess, to get invited to the Gridiron dinner. But that was a big event of the weekend here. We have an arrest out in Ferguson, Missouri, a young man arrested and charged with shooting those two police officers. So there's a lot to talk about and getting right down to the wire on those negotiations with Iran to get Iran to suspend its nuclear weapons program for at least 10 years. And meanwhile, the author of that crazy adolescent letter signed by 47 Republican senators, the boy senator from Arkansas, Tom Cotton, says he has no regrets. Of course not. He's a juvenile. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Anyhow, we got lots to talk about today. So glad to see you. We are here with you on your local progressive talk radio station. Damn right. Station nationwide. We are here with you on Free Speech TV and here with you on our worldwide global video stream, Talker TV, youtube.com/Talker, TAWKR-TV. The whole team is here, but we are apparently having some issues with transmission. So Peter Ogburn is working on that problem right now. He's here. Elisa Murphy here as well. Hello, Elisa.
Hey, good morning. You know, Peter's on the job, so we're all set.
Yeah, that's it. Right. I'm not worried at all. I don't know whether anybody can hear us or see us, but I'm doing my thing. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, it was nice. It's finally spring. It feels good out there.
The weather was really nice. See any good movies? No?
I actually caught up on Foxcatcher. I hadn't seen that yet, and that was really, really good about the DuPont family.
Yeah.
It was really good. It's really dark and eerie, but it's really worth seeing, I think.
I don't know. No. Coming from Delaware, I don't want to know anything more about the DuPont family. I'm sorry, no. Alicia Cruz is here. She's got the phones covered. Ready for your calls at 866-55-PRESS. Because remember, we're a two-way street here on the Bill Press Show. We'll tell you what's going on, give you our take on it. We want to hear from you as to what it all means to you. 866-55-PRESS is how you do so. Give us a call. Or send us your comments on Twitter at BP Show or on Facebook at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. And if you're watching us, it is, we got a double team here this morning, Cyprian Bolding and Monty Kanzler. I don't know. Maybe they just thought we needed some extra help today, but here with both of them on the video cam this morning as well. And can you believe it? Yes, for something new, something that has never happened before. It is snowing in Boston. Well, at least it was snowing last time we checked overnight in Boston, which means that their record snowfall is now even higher and higher and higher than it has ever been. Up now to about, according to Frank Nocera from the Weather Channel, up to 108 inches this winter.
That is 1 inch greater than the old record, 107.6 inches set back in 95, 96. Probably going to be adding a little bit to that total because it's still snowing as we speak in the city of Boston.
Yes, still snowing in the city of Boston. You know, all right, let's enough for Boston, okay? I just sort of feel enough for Boston. They've suffered enough. They've been great. They've kept their spirits up. They've dealt with it. They took all kinds of extra measures. They've been heroic, but enough is enough is enough.
I mean, it's almost St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
Can you imagine?
Almost. You know, I saw people celebrating St. Patrick's Day yesterday. Like starting 2 days early, and you know they start early in Boston.
That's a new tradition.
Well, welcome.
Hi, Bill.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, the team is back.
Do you get our everything fixed?
Everything's good. Everything's up and running,
good.
baby.
I'm glad to know. Right.
It.
Great.
This is a new thing, a new tradition where people celebrate St. Patrick's Day the weekend before the actual St. Patrick's Day, which I, for one, support. If you're going to do it,
I do too.
Don't go out and get hammered on a Tuesday.
No, in the middle of the week, it's kind of hard.
It's a real problem.
Yeah.
For people who are professionals like us. So yeah, there were a lot of drunks out this weekend.
I saw 2 fire trucks yesterday, DC fire trucks, full of people. People sitting on top, standing on the back. Standing on and with a big Irish flag on them, and I'm wondering, what are these fire trucks supposed to be like on duty? Number one, and number two, these are city fire trucks. What about the insurance for all these people who are hanging all over this fire truck?
Right.
I don't know. All I'm saying is, I was just wondering.
The drunk bus.
Yeah,
the drunk bus in full effect.
All right. So we got lots going on here. Scott Bland joins us from the hotline, as he does every Monday, and then we'll have reporters in from Politico, Center for American Progress, and from Huffington Post. So, yes?
Let's do it.
All right. And Mitch McConnell up to his old tricks. But first...
This is the Full Court Press.
Yes, indeed. Just a couple of other stories.
Up to my old tricks.
There you go. Mix up the morning cocktail. The Jinx on HBO may have solved a very old murder mystery.
Unbelievable. This
is a fascinating story filled with I'm going to spoil it for you. If you haven't seen last night's finale, I'm going to spoil it for you, but it's okay because we're talking about someone who admitted murder on television last night. Robert Durst, the wealthy, very eccentric man who's been the subject of this documentary series on HBO called The Jinx, was arrested in New Orleans on yesterday morning, very, very early. He'd been running from the police because of this documentary series, The Jinx, that took a look at the murder of his wife, took a look at the murder of his friend, and took a look at the murder of his neighbor when he was hiding in Galveston, Texas. Very damning piece of evidence in the season finale last night, which showed that the letter that was sent to the police telling where the body was of the woman matched the handwriting down to the misspellings of Beverly Hills, matched the handwriting of Robert Durst in a letter that they found that had been hidden for years and years and years. They confronted Durst about it. He had a very weird kind of meltdown on camera and then went to the bathroom while he was still wearing his microphone. But they had wired him up for the interview. And when he was in the bathroom, he's known to talk to himself when he's alone. And he said, "You got it, or they've got me. I've been found. I killed them all." On tape. The most chilling thing I have ever seen on television. It was incredible.
Yeah.
That is a producer's dream.
Oh, my God. By the way, I said to any young producers out there, never stop recording. Never stop recording.
And listen to anybody wearing a mic. The mic is always on. How many times have we said that?
Yeah,
always hot.
Robert Durst has been arrested.
There's nothing like that, I think, has ever happened before. You know, it is the lead story in the New York Times this morning, and the headline is "Straight from TV to Jail."
Yeah. Go watch this show. It's on HBO Go.
Yeah.
Go watch this show. It is fascinating. Bill, if you want to go on the Great American Road Trip, a man has helped you figure all this out. It's a blogger who just goes by the name of Mr. Olson. He's a travel blogger. He took a look at Google Maps, and he said, I have figured out a way to do the Great American Road Trip. He put together scientific algorithms to find the most efficient way to go and see the entire country, every state in America. What he did was took a look at the map, put together a 13,699-mile road trip that would take you 9.33 days of nonstop driving. Takes you through all of the states, and you can see the Grand Canyon in Arizona, Bryce Canyon in Utah, Elvis Presley's Graceland in Tennessee, Mount Vernon in Virginia, Liberty Bell in Pennsylvania, on and on and on, and you go see every single state. This is the most efficient way to do it. If you want to go on this road trip, follow us at BP Show on Twitter. I will tweet that out, and then you can go on your own.
You can take the show on the road. You know, we gotta get one of those, get an RV, right?
Yeah.
Then we can broadcast from the RV and just get
That's right.
hit
That'll
the
break
road.
some kind of record.
Yeah, right.
And where in the world is Vladimir Putin?
Isn't that funny?
He has disappeared. Rumors are flying all over Russia that he might have died, and that Russian government is trying to cover this up until they have a good reason as to what the hell is going on. He hasn't been seen since March 5th.
I love it.
This is very weird.
Pootie is missing.
Pootie Poot is on the run. Maybe he's going on the American road trip. He's been missing, again, since March 5th. And for a guy who's always out in public and always on TV, people are very, very concerned in Russia, and yet there's still no sign of him.
He'll pop up somewhere. He'll pop up, you know, like flying with those geese or whatever he's done, and you know he does all these crazy things.
Hiking the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, right.
Going that
all right. By the way, we are offering a $25,000 reward for anyone who sees Vladimir Putin. If you have a Putin sighting, just send it in to at BP Show on Twitter, at BP Show, and we'll follow them up, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Yes.
Whatever you say, boss.
Right, indeed. Well, here we go again with Mitch McConnell. There's no wonder. No wonder the Congress is held in such low esteem by the American people when you have games being played like they are once again by Mitch McConnell, who promised, remember, last week, he promised that this week they were going to hold a vote on Loretta Lynch, President Obama's nominee to be the Attorney General, next Attorney General of the United States. She's passed with flying colors the Senate Judiciary Committee. Not one senator, not Ted Cruz, not Marco Rubio, not Lindsey Graham, not one senator has raised one item or one objection to her being qualified to be the Attorney General of the United States. Not one. And yet she's been held up for 4 months so far. And after making the promise that she would be voted on this week, Mitch McConnell yesterday on CNN, on State of the Union, says, no, we're not going to be, because we got this other thing we got to deal with first.
We need to finish this human trafficking bill that came out of the Judiciary Committee unanimously. That's the next item. It's on the Senate floor right now. We need to finish that so we have time to turn to the Attorney General, because the next week we'll be doing the budget, and 2 weeks and the next 2 weeks after that, Congress is not in session.
So unless have you ever heard such a lame excuse in your life? I mean, people are saying, well, there's another bump in the road for Loretta Lynch. No, there's not another bump in the road. There is another huge obstacle, roadblock, thrown there by the hapless, feckless leader, Mitch McConnell. First of all, this is absolutely ridiculous when you think of it. But again, no wonder people just write off the Senate, the entire Congress, as being able to get even the simplest things done. But for 2 years at least, if not longer, Republicans were saying Eric Holder is the worst person that's ever been Attorney General. We can't deal with him. Obama's got to fire him. We got to get rid of Eric Holder. And finally, Eric Holder resigns, and President Obama appoints another person, again, whom everybody agrees is totally qualified, Loretta Lynch, outstanding person, to be Attorney General of the United States. And now that Obama's acted, Republicans won't do what they won't even help Obama do what they begged him to do, which is to get another person in as Attorney General. So you see, they are hurting themselves by holding up Loretta Lynch. Not only that, this is the same Mitch McConnell, remember, who said, man, you put us in charge of the Senate, it's going to be smooth, no roadblocks, we're not going to play political games. We're going to show the world how to govern. We're going to show everybody we know how to get things done. We know how to govern. We're going to go back to regular order where just the machine, get that machine working again. It has been one disaster after another. They have accomplished nothing, except pass the Keystone Pipeline bill, which they knew President Obama was going to veto. What do you think about this? 866-55-PRESS, 866-55-77-377. So just so you understand what's going on. So the first time they held Loretta Lynch up, remember, they said, no, we're not going to vote on her until President Obama agrees to drop those the executive orders on immigration. Totally unrelated to Loretta Lynch. She has nothing to do with those. But again, they use that as an excuse for holding her up. Well, we know how that resolved. The Republicans finally caved in. They funded the DHS and the immigration orders stand. So now they're saying, you heard Jim McConnell, we're not going to vote for her until we get this human trafficking bill. And what they want is the Republicans have attached some totally unrelated provision about abortion to a human trafficking bill. Everybody's against human trafficking, but now Republicans want to use that to get some further restriction on abortion, which Democrats rightfully won't go along with. And so what are they doing? Again, Loretta Lynch has nothing to do with any of this, but they're holding up her nomination until they get their anti-abortion thing as part of human trafficking bill, the same old political games that Mitch McConnell promised to end and promised to vote this week. It ain't going to happen. What do you think about this? What can we do about it? 866-55-PRESS. Let's talk about it here Monday on the Bill Press Show.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Anti-government, self-described revolutionaries have shot up a pizza restaurant as well as a Walmart in Las Vegas.
The internationally syndicated political series, The David Pakman Show, provides progressive talk, analysis, and interviews with the nation's youngest radio and television host, David Pakman. Find out more and catch up on all the latest episodes by visiting our website at freespeech.org.
Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Week and to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that, but now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. You know, we've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free Speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. Number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. Three, it's the best programming you'll find, news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going, and that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll could do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Pakman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. to help you make up your mind. If you can just help us with $5 a month, $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. Double that to $120 a year or $10 a month, a Free Speech TV mug and a Free Speech TV T-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a free Bill Press Show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Here we go. Loretta Lynch on hold again because of something totally unrelated to her qualifications as Attorney General. 4 months now she's been held just dangling in the wind. But of course, why would Republicans help her? She's black and she's a woman. They don't care about either one. Peter?
We're on Twitter, Bill, at BP Show, at BP Show. Robbie Bright weighs in, says, if we just prosecute those 47 traitors in the Senate for treason, the GOP majority is a thing of the past. Also weighing in is Blue Ghost, who says, hopefully all of these people who don't vote are paying attention and are committed to voting in 2016. We can get these clowns out.
One would only hope. Marty's down in Bluffton, South Carolina. Hey, Marty.
Hi, Bill.
Hi.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
I would like to say that I think Loretta Lynch is fully qualified for the job, but the problem with that is that she's the same color as the president, and if you think those re-slimy cants are going to give her a chance, don't.
Yeah, well, I think that's got something to do with it, Marty. Bluffton, South Carolina. Peter, where's Bluffton?
I know Bluffton's a little upstate, kind of close to the beach. It's not right next to the beach, but close enough. Shout out to Bluffton.
Upstate. What does that mean? Near Charleston? Or
No. Charleston's low country.
Oh,
Upstate,
okay.
kind of closer to Myrtle Beach-ish.
Up in that area.
You got it.
Okay. Right. We have our resident South Carolinian.
Don't ask me about anything else.
On the job. On the job here. All right, just getting started. Good to have you with us on this Monday morning. Off
Is
we
the
go.
Bill Press Show.
Hey, guys, maybe you've heard me. Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Week and to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that, but now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. You know, we've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free Speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. And number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. 3, it's the best programming. You'll find news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going. And that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll could do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Packman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part, to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. To help you make up your mind, if you can just help us with $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. Double that to $120 a year or $10 a month, a Free Speech TV mug and a Free Speech TV T-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a free Bill Press Show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Hey, here we go, 34 minutes after the hour. Yes, indeed, here in Washington, D.C. One of the big events, it's a relic, I'm telling you. It's sort of like going to the dinosaur exhibit at the Smithsonian Museum. It's called the Gridiron Dinner. People came from all over the country this weekend for the Gridiron Dinner. It is the only remaining white tie and tails event in the city of Washington. As I say, a real throwback. As Susan Page told us the other day, Susan Page, who's a member of the Gridiron Club, she said it is the oldest political dinner in Washington, D.C. 130 years it's been around. The oldest political dinner in Washington, D.C., with the oldest people there. Jerry Brown, governor of California, my former boss and my good friend, was in town, for example, came in with Ann, his wife, for the weekend to attend the Gridiron Dinner as a guest of the Washington Post. I hope you saw my tweet over the weekend. We had a little lunch Carol and I did at our house Saturday for Jerry and Ann, with some political reporters, friends of ours. And you can follow that. That's another reason why you got to sign up for Twitter, right?
That's right, man.
At BP Show. So I've tweeted out a picture of me and Jerry at the house Saturday. And the dinner, they have they have a Democratic speaker and a Republican speaker, and then hopefully the President of the United States, although he doesn't attend every Gridiron Dinner. This was Obama's third. I thought Obama got off the best joke of the evening when he said about the Gridiron Dinner. He said, all political experts tell us that the Democratic Party has to do a better job of reaching out to old white people. That's why I'm here. He had that little pause, which he always does. That's why I'm here. Yeah. So the entertainment, if you will, this year for the Democratic speaker was Governor Terry McAuliffe from Virginia, Republican speaker Governor Scott Walker, fresh from New Hampshire, from Wisconsin, of course, and then the President of the United States, and they all did apparently pretty well according to reports. There are no TV cameras, none, and no audio is allowed, right? So the only way is just people tweet out kind of what some of the best lines are.
Yeah. Which is also pretty old school.
Is also,
take notes.
Very old school.
Take notes.
Governor Scott Walker got off to, the theme of the Gridiron is that the gridiron singes but never burns. Right, so it's humor, biting humor, but not over the line.
They'll roast you, but they won't
roast you, but not
won't burn you,
but not burn you alive. Right, and the kind of humor that everybody's looking for is the self-deprecating humor, making fun of themselves. So Scott Walker started off, for example, saying my goal tonight, he said, is to speak for 10 minutes, but don't worry, once I get 3/4 of the way through, I'll drop out.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, yeah. A reference to his college dropout, right? In fact, he said, when it comes to college, I have more trouble finishing the last quarter than the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, not bad.
He also said that there's so many people leaving the White House. So many staff are running out of the White House. Pretty soon, he said, the only one left reporting to Valerie Jarrett will be President Obama. Really? That's a good line.
That's a very good
They always get good writers for this, right?
Yeah,
so I don't want you to think that they're born comics. Apparently, Terry McAuliffe was killer. Just hit it out of the park. Some of his lines, he said, "Good evening, everybody. I'm Terry McAuliffe, the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Terry McAuliffe, the governor of Virginia. Who saw that coming?" I think it's great anymore. He said, things really have changed, he said. For example, in the Hillary Clinton administration, we won't rent out the Lincoln bedroom. We'll just put it on Airbnb. And he noted that, he said, I broke my ribs when I was thrown from a horse on a family vacation, and it hurt. I plummeted to the ground harder than Chris Christie's presidential ambitions.
Oh, wow. Yo.
But he continued, but that's gravity for you, or as Scott Walker calls it, the theory of gravity. Oh,
that's not bad. That's not bad.
No, not bad at all. I like that. He also made fun of It's Susan Page, our good friend, who's a member, and talking about USA Today. She said she volunteers at an affiliated not-for-profit called USA Today. And then he said, "Oh, come on, you all printed yesterday's news on paper and threw it at people's porches, and you thought that would last forever?" That's a good line. And then the president took over again. He was in really rare form. He said, "Well, what a beautiful evening. Everybody looks wonderful. It's like Downton Abbey, except less funny." Oh, "This is my third appearance at the dinner as president," President Obama said, "and I predict you will laugh this year harder than ever. I'm not saying I'm any funnier. I'm just saying weed is now legal in D.C."
Nice.
That may help a little.
Yeah,
Nice.
very, very nice. I thought that was really good. Clarence Page, another good friend of ours, is the president of this year's Gridiron dinner. So the president said that Scott Walker, wouldn't you know it? My computer just went black. Here it comes. Scott Walker, the president said that Josh Earnest came into the Oval Office the other day and said, "Mr. President, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that people are finally rallying around the charismatic African-American president. The bad news is it's Clarence Page."
Nice. Nice.
And he said, "I could never imagine, a few years ago, I could never imagine being in my 50s. And when it comes to my approval ratings, I still can't." Ooh. And of course, he had
had a little Hillary joke.
A little Hillary joke in there, yes. He said, "I can't think about how things have changed since 2008. Back then, I was the young, tech-savvy candidate of the future. Now I'm yesterday's news, and Hillary has a server in her house." He said, "I didn't even know you could have one of those in your house. I'm so far behind." And finally, he got a great dig in at the vice president, too. He said, "My vice president isn't here tonight. He told me, if I want to hear people talking for 5 hours straight, I'll just stay home alone."
He also said the vice president rubs his shoulders, too.
Yes, he did say that, right. That Joe rubs my shoulders, too. And despite final dig at Scott Walker, said, "Despite a great performance tonight, Scott Walker has had a few recent stumbles. The other week, he said he didn't know whether or not I was a Christian, and I was taken aback." He said, "But fortunately, my faith teaches us forgiveness. So, Governor Scott Walker, Assalamu alaikum," or whatever.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Is that it? Assalamu alaikum. You know, the other, he said, he had a comment about Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, yeah.
Rudy Giuliani said, you know, that I don't love America. He said, "That's crazy. If I didn't love America, why would I have moved here from Kenya?" Anyhow, there you go, folks. The Gridiron.
Very nice.
You didn't even have to pay the price of admission to get to the Gridiron. Scott Bland from the I love that. Wouldn't have moved here from Kenya. Scott Bland from the Hotline, National Journal Hotline, standing by. Joins us next.
This is the Bill Press Show.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
You know, sometimes when I'm walking down the street, I'm not necessarily looking out and seeing all these water-wasting lawns and people that aren't as connected to their neighbors and their lives as they could be. I'm walking down the street looking, going, edible oases, rainwater, fed landscape, and just looking at the possibility of these sort of landscapes up and down the streets of neighborhoods and communities all across this world. Small actions do ripple and they add up and they have a cumulative impact. And so when you're building upon your small mindful actions, you know, you have the confidence and the ability to take on something a little bit greater. So that could be nice. This, in the context of where we're at as a planet with climate change and these really big issues and people that are more disconnected and less skilled than ever, it becomes even more amazing and powerful how much of a solution this is to design these ecological gardens and to come together with shared vision and shared voice. There's never been a time where your choices have mattered more. Doing something as simple as us transforming a landscape creates a model that anybody could look at far and wide, and you're sharing food and connecting and building skills together in your own neighborhood. It's a richer way to live in normal times, but in the new normal of climate change and erratic weather and economic upheaval, it becomes essential. Whether it's me, you, Gandhi, Che, MLK, Willy Wonka, past, present, or future, the power of our daily actions is all that we have. You know, and like our community said, give me a place to stand and a lever long enough and I'll move the world. And that's what those simple actions do. They move the world every day.
On your radio, on TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
13 minutes before the top of the hour, I mentioned Scott Walker being at the Gridiron dinner. Came down Saturday from New Hampshire, where he had spent the weekend, as well as Jeb Bush. Lindsey Graham was up there recently. Suddenly, New Hampshire looks like it's taking on even more importance in this run-up to 2016. Scott Bland, editor-in-chief of National Journal's Hotline, standing by on this Monday morning. Hey, Scott, how are you?
Good morning.
What's up with New Hampshire? Why did everybody go up there this weekend? There wasn't any big debate or anything, right?
No, you know, it's kind of interesting. Iowa, for whatever reason, just seemed to be getting more attention early this year. And, you know, they had that big agriculture summit. They had that
Steve King.
The summit that Steve King ran in January. There were just a few different big events early on, and New Hampshire seemed to be getting more attention from the George Patakis and Bob Ehrlichs of the world,
right?
Early on, and in the past few weeks we've seen that shift. You know, Jeb Bush has been up there, Scott Walker's been up there a few times, Marco Rubio, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, New Hampshire, I mean, it always plays a key role for the media, if nothing else. But it's between the caucuses in Iowa and the first primary in South Carolina. No, it's a primary state, isn't it, New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But Iowa and South Carolina may be more important. But then if you don't do so well in Iowa and you bounce back in New Hampshire, then you're still in the game, right? So it's...
Absolutely.
Yeah. And who I guess it's too early to say who has the edge up there, but...
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think all the people who are being talked about nationally tend to register in the polls in Wisconsin. So I believe the most recent ones have shown Jeb Bush doing well, Scott Walker doing pretty well. Rand Paul has something of a base there.
And the reports I read were that the contrasting the difference in style this weekend between Jeb Bush and Scott Walker. Jeb Bush talked to every reporter he could, possibly, right, at every event on everywhere, where Scott Walker didn't want to talk to reporters. They're just afraid he's going to say something stupid again, right?
You know, the one thing that's been interesting to watch with Jeb Bush is how comparatively free and easy he is when he's talking off script compared to when he's talking on script.
Yep.
It's been very interesting to watch. You know, his speeches have been not particularly remarkable, but then as soon as he's gone into Q&A or kind of banter with reporters or with questioners or whatever, he gets very, very loose. And I think so far the opposite is true of what we've seen with Walker, and that kind of makes sense. You know, he hasn't really done. He's never seen one of these up close before. He hasn't been around as long as Bush is. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that evolves over the course of the next year. But yeah, I think definitely a big part of Bush's strategy right now is to highlight that fact that he's pretty good at talking in those freewheeling situations.
To follow politics at the national level or state by state, no better source than the hotline of the National Journal. Go to nationaljournal.com. Scott Bland, editor-in-chief, joins us today on our newsline. So, Scott, it's not just the the White House in 2016. A huge number of Senate races up. The Barbara Mikulski's announcement she's not going to run for re-election, as well as Barbara Boxer, kind of brings that to light. How's the map look for Democrats or Republicans in 2016 on the Senate level?
Sure. Well, the map for Republicans is about as it's not quite as bad, but it's similarly tilted to what Democrats faced last cycle. There are really only two incumbent Democrats who are running for re-election in battleground states next time. You've got Harry Reid in Nevada and Michael Bennet in Colorado. Most of the rest of the map is Republicans running in either blue or swing states. So the top three...
Total of how many seats again? Is it 36 or what is it?
The total number of seats, it's around a third, so it's going to be 33, 34, something like that. But you've got Republicans up in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Illinois, and those are kind of the big three. And then in addition, they're going to have to defend seats also in a bunch of those kind of purple states like North Carolina, New Hampshire, Florida. And so there's a lot of potential opportunity there for Democrats. If they win the White House, they'll need four Senate seats to take back a majority in that chamber, and it's certainly doable. They're facing a lot of incumbents who are raising a lot of money, but it's going to be very interesting to watch.
Four Senate seats. Yeah, I mean the Republicans won 9 the last time, correct? I think.
I believe so. Yes.
Right. They had to win 6. I think they ended up winning 9. So 4 is definitely doable, and that's going to be, I'm sure, the focus. And it's interesting too that everybody said, well, including Mitch McConnell, right? We have to show we can govern now that we're in charge of the Senate, and then be able to run on that record in 2016. Having said that, I don't think they're off to a very good start of showing that how they can govern in the Senate so far, at any rate.
I think there's been angst among some Republicans about the fact that the plans for the legislative session have been getting run over a little bit by circumstances. But we are still 2 months into the new Congress. Possible that things will calm down for them as they kind of try and figure out how to navigate this fully Republican control. But yeah, absolutely. No, it has not been quite the start that the Senate Republicans were hoping for in terms of running the show there and setting up their vulnerable members for re-election.
You got it. All right. Hey, Scott, always good to check in with you. Thanks for being there for us again this week and today, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Scott. Scott Bland, nationaljournal.com.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Tune into Free Speech TV for Democracy Now!, a national, independent, award-winning news program bringing you people and perspectives rarely seen on corporate media.
I'm the retired bishop with the Episcopal Church as the bishop for all chaplains in federal service. I read that there was a group of people that represented a sense of injustice that I had. We'd lost Zuccotti. I mean, there was a kind of a hope that maybe Trinity Church would be gracious and give refuge. We picked this day where we would gather and demonstrate that Trinity was closing its ears to what was happening. We marched around the block, and I realized that, my goodness, they're carrying a ladder. And I thought, well, this is the moment. You could feel a spiritual presence. You could feel a certain something. And then the cops came in. It got brutal.
Yeah, I'm with you right here. Robin, I'm here.
The church needed, in this moment in history, to stand alongside of these protesters. The truth of Christ is found in the pews, is found in the institutional church, but it is also found in the streets. It's found in the honesty and the integrity, the insistence of people that you find in Occupy Wall Street.
Tune in to Gay USA with hosts Ann Northrup and Andy Hum for in-depth coverage of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender news. Watch Gay USA every week, only on Free Speech TV.
What the frack?
What the frack?
What the frack?
What the frack?
President Obama, are you fracking kidding me?
Reopen the EPA studies. In Texas, Wyoming, and Pennsylvania.
Fracking pollutes our oceans.
Fracking poisons our water.
Fracking makes climate change worse.
Fracking relies on toxic chemicals that cause cancer.
Ban fracking now.
Ban fracking now.
Go on. Ban it.
Ban fracking now.
Please.
This is the Bill Press Show.
And we go up on the ground in New Hampshire. Top of the next hour here on the Bill Press Show.
Update,
Peter.
Bill, update. I mentioned earlier in the hour that nobody has seen Putin in 11 days. He's back. Putin is back, baby. He had a meeting scheduled with the president of Kyrgyzstan, Atambayev, and they just showed up in public in front of the TV cameras and video cameras. We've already seen some photos come out on Twitter.
Are we
Literally
sure
just happened?
Are we sure it's the real Putin?
We're pretty sure it's the real
Could be
Putin.
a lookalike.
It could be a ringer.
Could be.
We don't know where he's been, but we know he just showed up.
Boy, am
Welcome
I
back.
happy. It saved me $25,000. Right?
Right.
All right. The reward is off.
Yeah.
Call off the reward. He's back. You had your chance, and you blew it.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Two anti-government, self-described revolutionaries have shot up a pizza restaurant as well as a Walmart in Las Vegas.
The internationally syndicated political series, The David Pakman Show, provides progressive talk, analysis, and interviews with the nation's youngest radio and television host, David Pakman. Find out more and catch up on all the latest episodes by visiting our website at freespeech.org.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Week and to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that, but now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. You know, we've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free Speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. Number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. Three, it's the best programming you'll find, news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going. And that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Packman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. To help you make up your mind, if you can just help us with $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. Double that to $120 a year or $10 a month, a Free Speech TV mug and a Free Speech TV T-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a Free Bill Press Show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help.
A few years ago, plastic bag waste in our city came to a tipping point. It was clear we had a bag problem. My department was tasked to reduce plastic bag consumption. We needed to come up with ways to change human behavior. So we asked ourselves,
would you like a bag?
What do people really hate? Yep. Getting punched in the stomach. Preliminary studies showed that the consequences weren't severe enough to warrant behavioral change.
Actually, can I get that double bagged?
So we thought, what do people hate more than getting punched in the stomach? Kissing Helga.
Hey, big boy.
People didn't find her so offensive after all, so we had to get creative.
How many bags? Okay, now, pour this ice water down your pants.
We tried everything.
Eat the threat. Defuse this bomb.
Even fighting your clone. After blowing through millions of dollars of government funds on research, I came up with a brilliant idea.
Why don't we just charge 5 cents per bag?
That's a stupid idea.
Would you like a bag?
Yes.
5 cents a bag.
5 cents? 5 cents? Do I still have the option of getting punched?
Honestly, I don't know how everyone else missed it.
Why don't you just get a reusable bag?
Mitch McConnell breaks another promise. Said he was going to have a vote on Loretta Lynch as Attorney General this week. And now he's put it off because he said they want to do some unrelated abortion matter first. And Loretta Lynch is going to be held hostage until they get that done. Can't trust him. Told you that. Hello, everybody. It is Monday, March 16. This is the Bill Press Show. You're part of it. Good to have you part of it, and good to see you on this Monday. Hope you had a great weekend and ready to dive both feet first into the news of the week, wherever it's happening, here in Washington, around the country, around the globe. We got it. We know what's going on. We'll tell you about it, and we will look forward to hearing from you about what it all means to you. A lot to talk about today. The big Gridiron dinner over the weekend. The Pope saying, no, he may only be around another couple of years, and then he might even retire, just like Benedict did. No, say it ain't so, Francis. We love you. We need you. The House and the Senate back in session this week. The Senate was here last week, and yes, Mitch McConnell has reneged one more time. 4 months now. Loretta Lynch has been waiting for confirmation. Not one person has raised one objection to her qualifications to be Attorney General of the United States. Republicans just want to play politics with that nomination and keep holding her up to try to get action on other unrelated issues. We got it all covered again, and look forward to hearing from you at 866-55-PRESS. Your comments on Twitter at BP Show or on Facebook at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. Team Press assembled here and ready for you this morning. Peter Ogburn and Elisa Murphy.
Hello, Bill.
Hey, good morning.
With Alicia Cruz on the phones. And it's Monty Kanzler. Guess Cyprian is no longer with us here.
Cyprian's still with us.
Is he? All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I mean, okay. We're double teamed this morning. Cyprian Bolding and Monty Kanzler on the video cam. Indeed. Lots going on. We're going to jump up to New Hampshire a little bit later this hour with to check on the what happened with all the Republicans storming the state over the weekend. Someone in from Center for American Progress to talk about their new report on police and community relations, and Jen Bendery from Huffington Post a little bit later as well. We'll get right to General Petraeus, a double standard when it comes to telling state secrets. Looks like it. But first,
this is the Full Court Press.
Just a couple of other stories making news. Australian celebrity chef Pete Evans has a new cookbook out, but public health officials are not letting that go forward as of now. The cookbook is called The Paleo Way, and it's a way for parents to introduce their children to the paleo diet.
The paleo diet is such a crazy, nutty diet.
Well, here's the problem. One of the recipes offers a bone broth milk formula. And so you infuse the milk with like beef broth or stock, whatever, however you want to make it. And they say that in the cookbook, it doesn't have enough nutrients that kids need and way too much of others. Like, for example, there are 10 times the amount of vitamin A that a child should have. So if babies overdose on vitamin A, it can cause hair loss, bone pain, fissures in the corners of the mouth. And according to the president of the Public Health Association of Australia, quote, there's a very real possibility that a baby may die if this book goes ahead, end quote. So the book has been shelved for now.
Thank goodness.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Well,
By the way, the last thing we need is another cookbook.
I know, on the paleo diet. Jeb Bush, I guess, is on that.
I love cookbooks.
I love cookbooks too, but I don't have room for any more in our kitchen.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also, a kid's cookbook on the paleo diet ain't going to be one that's going to... Yeah, exactly. Congratulations to Medal of Honor recipient Dakota Meyer. No, he won the Medal of Honor in 2011. He is engaged to be married. He proposed to his girlfriend at a Rascal Flatts concert in Las Vegas. She said yes. His girlfriend is Bristol Palin.
He should have asked me first.
Bristol Palin, 24 years old, is marrying the 2011 Medal of Honor recipient Dakota Meyer. The way it went down in Vegas is they went to go see this band, this country music band, Rascal Flatts. How romantic.
Yeah, right.
We got engaged at a Rascal Flatts concert. The lead singer dedicated a song to them, and then he dropped down to his knee, proposed. There you go. God bless America.
God, imagine having Sarah Palin as your mother-in-law.
I know, it's horrible.
Jesus.
And there are no vegetarians on the staff here on the Bill Press Show.
I wouldn't hire one.
That's part of the criteria.
Or I tell you, I'd fire anybody who becomes a vegan here. You're fired.
You're out. Well, a new study.
Go ahead, sue me.
A new study took a look at how many animals the average person eats over the course of their lifetime.
Oh.
I know. Well,
You don't need the whole animal.
Well, no, but when you put together what you've eaten and what it makes up,
this is
the
silly.
average person eats 7,000 animals during their lives. That's 11 whole cows, 27 pigs, 2,400 chickens, 80 turkeys, 30 sheep, and 4,500 fish, based on normal diets.
That's so silly.
No, not all at once. But when you put them together, the parts that make up the animal.
BS. Yeah, right.
Just putting a face on what you're eating. That's all.
You don't have to name them all.
Yeah. Remember that time you did a whole chicken?
Look, you think you're going to make me feel guilty? Just shut up.
No, I'm not.
Just shut up. Get out of here.
11 whole cows.
I'll tell you. How many animals? What's the whole?
7,000.
I'm worth it. All right? Let's say that. Oh, thank you for nothing. 13 minutes, yes. More and more stink is being raised. And, we reported this last week when we first heard about it. I wish we had raised more stink about it then. But the more I've thought about it and the more people I've talked to about it, I'm talking about David Petraeus and the sweetheart deal that he's going to get. He hasn't been sentenced yet, but that he's going to get from the Justice Department for doing what? For leaking state secrets. And remember, back when he was the top gun in Iraq, right, in charge of over there, the top U.S. general, and he came back to the Congress. I'll never forget this. And MoveOn.org was really upset with him for his conduct of the war in Iraq and the fact that he wanted more soldiers. Well, everybody else was saying, come on, we've been there like 8 years now already or whatever it was. Let's get out of Iraq. And he was saying, no, we need more soldiers. We need to step it up and prolong the war in Iraq. And he came back to testify in front of Congress. And MoveOn.org paid for these full-page ads in the Washington Post, New York Times, and others, where they said, the headline was, did Petraeus betray us? And everybody said, oh, this is terrible. How can they insult a general? This is, oh, my God. And they raised so much hell that MoveOn.org was forced not only to withdraw the ads, but basically to apologize. How could they say something like that about our top general? Well, guess what? He did betray us. We know that now. He gave state secrets away. He handed his black binders with all of his notes, all of the state secrets, series of black binders to his biographer, who was also his lover. So he did just what Edward Snowden did, if you will, although there's still a question to me about whether there were any. But okay, I'll grant you that. They were secret documents. I don't think it did any damage to our security. They were secret documents. Chelsea Manning did the same thing. Others have. Reporters, to talk to reporters for Fox News or for the New York Times or whatever, and have received severe punishment. Look at Chelsea Manning. She's serving 30 years in prison right now for giving away state secrets. Edward Snowden can't even come back in the country because they want to do the same thing with Edward Snowden. Yeah, they keep promising a fair trial. That's 30 years, baby. That's what he's looking at if he were to come back here. Stephen Kim, who talked to reporters about some of the efforts that we had to scuttle North Korea's nuclear weapons program. Stephen Kim was sentenced to 13 months in prison for disclosing details about North Korea. Jeffrey Sperling is about to be sentenced, and they say he's going to get many years, for talking to the New York Times' James Rosen about what we did to scuttle Iran's nuclear weapons program. So it's been really hard-ass punishment for everybody except David Petraeus. And David Petraeus, leaking state secrets, is going to get we already know from the Justice Department, no prison time, 0 prison time, maybe a year's probation, have to do some kind of public service work, and a $40,000 fine. Slap on the wrist for the big general, years and years in prison for anybody else. Why? 866-55-PRESS. Don't you think it's maybe a little double standard here? I mean, look, yeah, we respect and applaud and thank General Petraeus for his great service to this country, and he did a great job. He's one of our most decorated members of the military. At one time, the top general in the United States Army. At one time, the director of the CIA, appointed by President Obama. And yet here he is, when our top general and the head of the CIA gives away state secrets, gives away national security secrets, national security documents, and hands them over not to a member of the enemy, but who knows what this woman's going to do with this stuff. He hands them over to his biographer and his lover. I mean, who knows what her channels are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he did the same thing that they did. He gets a slap on the wrist. They get years in prison. Why the double standard? Do you think it's fair? 866-55-PRESS. Just the more I think about, the more to me it just shows what's wrong with our justice system today, and particularly what's wrong with Eric Holder and the Department of Justice. I mean, it's
certainly a double standard.
How can they defend the double standard for General Petraeus? 866-55-PRESS. More and more people getting very upset about this. Let's talk about it here this Monday on the Bill Press Show. 866-55-77377. Send your comments on Twitter at BP Show.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Week and to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that, but now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. You know, we've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free Speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. And number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. 3, it's the best programming. You'll find news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going. And that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll could do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night, after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Pakman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part, to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. To help you make up your mind, if you can just help us with $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. Double that to $120 a year or $10 a month, a Free Speech TV mug and a Free Speech TV T-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a free Bill Press Show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
Radio, on TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
We're talking here on this Monday, March 16, at this moment, The Bill Press Show. Good to have you with us today. About what lawyers are calling the profound double standard when it comes to General David Petraeus. I guess we still call him General David Petraeus. Once a general, always a general. Former head of the CIA as well, who is getting the kid glove treatment when it comes to releasing state secrets compared to the years in prison that others have received for the same thing. This issue has been raised. And the latest person accusing Attorney General Eric Holder of exercising a double standard in the case of David Petraeus is Attorney Abby Lowell, who is one of the best defense attorneys in the country. I know him well. He was a frequent guest on Crossfire back in the days of the Clinton impeachment trial. He was not part of it. He was just one of the guests that we used most on CNN. And he raises this issue with Attorney General Eric Holder in a letter that the New York Times has reported on today. And as Attorney Lowell points out, this is a particularly dicey question for Eric Holder because he has prosecuted more people for leaks during the Obama administration, most of them reporters or people who talk to reporters, than all other presidents combined. So he has been Holder has been, for the president, extremely aggressive in prosecuting leaks and and putting people in prison and charging them for anything to do with leaking national security matters. All of that until he comes to General Petraeus, and then with Petraeus, it's a totally different story. And Petraeus is also involved. The Times points out that back just a month or so ago, a former CIA officer, John Kiriakou, was released from prison. He served 2 years for telling a reporter the name of a CIA officer involved in the agency's interrogation program. Petraeus was director of the CIA when he was charged. And General Petraeus, as director of the CIA, at that time said, quote, "Oaths do matter, and there are indeed consequences for those who believe they are above the laws that protect our fellow officers and enable American intelligence agencies to operate with the requisite degree of secrecy." That's what director of the CIA, General Petraeus, said at the time, which was just about the time that he was handing his black binders over to his lover. What was her? I forget her name now, but at any rate, doesn't matter. She's got the documents, and he gave them to her, and he's going to pay a $40,000 fine and get a slap on the wrist. There you go.
That's how it goes, apparently.
Oh, man. We'll hear more and more about this, and I hope Attorney General Eric Holder has some second thoughts and that Abbe Lowell was able to convince him to, I would say, just treat General Petraeus the way others have been treated.
That's right. I mean, if there's a standard, follow the standard.
And let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
On a related, or unrelated maybe, law enforcement issue last night on television.
Yeah, I'm telling you. If you're not watching The Jinx, and you weren't watching The Jinx, the season finale was last night.
Now go back and watch it all, right?
It's all
at least watch the finale.
At least watch the finale. It gets you pretty well caught up. It's only 6 episodes for this documentary series. This director, Andrew Jarecki, is phenomenal. And he has been working on this look at Robert Durst, whose wife went missing 30 years ago, whose friend and confidant was found dead in her apartment, shot 14 years ago, and who was tried and acquitted of murdering his neighbor in Texas when he was hiding from law enforcement. And so it all kind of boiled to a head last night on the show, where the filmmaker confronted him with just damning evidence that ties him to the murder of his friend. And Robert Durst just kind of had a meltdown on camera and was very uncomfortable. And they wrapped up the interview, and he went into the bathroom.
His microphone
was still on. And when I talked about this last hour, I didn't realize this. I read more about it. They didn't find this audio until 2 years after. This interview was recorded 2 years ago. And on the audio, while he was in the bathroom, he says, "I killed them all."
Whoa.
Talking to himself.
Yeah.
Robert Durst was arrested yesterday, early morning in New Orleans, using a fake name to check into a hotel.
So this is the second reason you should not wear your microphone when you go to the bathroom.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Week and to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that, but now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. You know, we've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. Number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. Three, it's the best programming you'll find, news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going. And that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll could do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Packman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. To help you make up your mind, if you can just help us with $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. Double that to $120 a year or $10 a month, a Free Speech TV mug and a Free Speech TV T-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a free Bill Press Show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help.
The most valuable morning radio show, according to The Nation magazine. This is The Bill Press Show.
All right, 33 minutes now after the hour. It is The Bill Press Show on a Monday, March 16, coming live from Washington, D.C. in our studio on Capitol Hill. Brought to you today by the International Association of Machinists, the good men and women of the Machinists Union, under President Tom Buffenbarger, sharpening America's edge on the global economy in many, many ways. Not just the aircraft industry, we think about them there, but many, many different endeavors. And you can find out all about it at their website at goiam.org. New Hampshire was the scene over the weekend. For some reason, Republican candidates converging on New Hampshire, which, of course, will be the second contest of the season, as it always is. Ben Schreckinger, from Politico, political reporter, on the ground up in New Hampshire, joins us on our newsline this morning. Hey, Ben, good to have you with us.
Hey, Bill, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Do you have any spring weather up there yet in New Hampshire, or is it still pretty cold?
We got some snow yesterday, so not quite yet.
Oh, okay. Well, it's nice in Washington when you get back here. It was nice over the weekend.
It's not so bad here.
So first of all, why was it? What brought everybody to New Hampshire this weekend? Just a coincidence? Several happened to be there.
Yeah, it wasn't much more than coincidence. The primary race is starting to heat up, and this just happened to be a weekend where, about 5 of these guys were all up here. Given that there are a dozen of them, there are going to be plenty of weekends like this.
Right. And Jeb Bush and Scott Walker, I guess, the 2 leading candidates who were there, were you able to get close to either one of them, and how did they do?
Yeah. I saw both Scott Walker and Jeb Bush on Friday. Scott Walker was at a private luncheon in Portsmouth with about 60 Republican business people. Jeb Bush was at a house party.
You probably had more reporters there than people, right? Is that?
Well, with Walker, I was actually at this event. I was the only reporter, but at the Jeb Bush event in Dover, it was supposed to be a house party for New Hampshire voters. There were 100 New Hampshire voters on the guest list and 75 media. So that was a real circus in the kitchen of Fergus Cullen, who was formerly the chairman of the state Republican Party.
But that's classic New Hampshire politics. I've been up there so much myself, and the hordes of reporters following these people in and out of diners and people's homes, and it's the ultimate form of retail politics, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it is. It's this bizarre mix of retail politics where the candidates are, spending a lot of time going back and forth with individual voters, schmoozing with people's grandmothers, while the major networks have camera crews right behind them jostling to get the best picture of it.
Right. So first of all, tell us about Jeb Bush. How does he do in a setting like that? How was he received, and was there any particular message?
Sure. So, one of the big outstanding questions for a while with Jeb is how he'd do in a retail politics setting, schmoozing one-on-one with voters. Mm-hmm. He did one event in Nevada a couple of weeks ago, but he did well at this house party. People were impressed with him. I spoke to several attendees afterwards, an independent, some conservative Republicans, some moderate Republicans. One thing that they said after his remarks in a Q&A session was that they were impressed by his command of the facts. He was very wonky. His answers to questions were very fact-filled. So he passed the retail politicking test on Friday.
Right. And he also, at least from what I've read, not being up there myself, he made himself very accessible to reporters, unlike Scott Walker, I guess. Huh? Is that the way you saw it?
Sure. Bush definitely, outside of this house party, stopped and answered questions with reporters for a while. All I know is that Scott Walker made himself available to me for questions.
Uh-huh.
So he was accessible to me. I'm not sure how accessible he was to other reporters.
Right. And how does you saw Scott Walker, from Wisconsin to New Hampshire? Not necessarily was it a good fit for him? Did he handle himself well?
Yeah. So the New Hampshire has a lot of moderate Republicans. Someone asked him about his social positions at this luncheon. He said, I'm going to say straight up, I'm a social conservative. I'm pro-life. I hold other similar positions. But that hasn't been my focus in Wisconsin, and it wouldn't be my focus at the presidential level. The people in the room that I was in seemed to be satisfied with that. They weren't crazy about his social positions. But then they liked what he had to say on, things like taking on labor unions, foreign policy.
You don't mean labor unions, you mean terrorists, don't you? Is this
Well, he did in fact mention both, but not in the same breath, unlike his attack.
Now, they're hardly the only 2 Republicans who have made their way to New Hampshire. Lindsey Graham, I think, has been up there. Chris Christie, we know several times. What did you pick up about any of these other Republican wannabes?
Sure. Well, first of all, it's going to be tough for these New Hampshire voters to choose. They're notorious for wanting to see candidates in person several times before they make a decision, and they are being bombarded with choices. A guy named Jim Gilmore, a former governor of
Virginia.
Hampshire, Virginia, correct, was in New Hampshire this past week. He's exploring a run. I'm going to see George Pataki at a luncheon today. George Pataki is exploring a run.
He's there today?
Yeah, he's there today. He'll be speaking at a luncheon in Fort Smith in just a few hours. So it's not just Rick Perry and Ted Cruz who are also here this weekend. It's not just the people you've heard of who are running for president. These New Hampshire voters are giving serious looks at people that we might not even, or that many people aren't even aware are running.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Jim Gilmore. I didn't. That makes. If I had him to my list, that's 19. If I had Jim Gilmore, who are running. Did you see Rick Perry and Ted Cruz?
I didn't see either Rick Perry or Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz was a little further north. I think Rick Perry went a little bit further north as well for much of the time that he was here. I have heard that people are a fan of Rick Perry's campaigning style here. They find him very entertaining.
Well, he is entertaining, that's for sure. Right. Has Marco Rubio been up to the state? I guess he has, hasn't he? No? Rubio
has been up to New Hampshire. He wasn't here this weekend. I'm not sure when he'll be returning, but he certainly will be returning.
Well, I wonder, if you've got 19 candidates, are there enough events for them? I mean, are there enough homes where they can have lunches or coffees or little town hall meetings? That's a pretty small state, right? For them, all of them to cover. But good Lord.
Well, yeah, New Hampshire. I mean, New Hampshire is used to coming up with events for these people. They'll all stop at the Institute of Politics at St. Anselm's College.
Mm-hmm.
That's one diverse stop. But these aren't always big events, too. They are little meet and greets at small businesses inside people's homes. So yeah, I don't think the people of New Hampshire will have a problem coming up with enough things for these guys.
I remember when I was first up there as a reporter. I think I even went when I was still in Los Angeles doing television. And, you have a TV camera and you walk around. You can talk to anybody you want to, almost as long as you want to. I remember talking to Bill Clinton when he was running, for like half an hour. Just me and my cameraman. Right? We stopped. It's really the ultimate in retail politics. So I mean, Ben, for a reporter like you, it's a great opportunity to get up close to all of these people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they need to win over these activists. There's about a core group of about 100 Republican activists that all of these guys basically need to suck up to and get their support because they hold the keys to their primary electorate. And so if you get in with the activists and the activists ask for some access for you, the candidates aren't going to turn down these activists. So I've got interviews that way.
Yeah.
It is sort of a reporter's dream in terms of access up here.
Do you have any sense, like the Republican state chair, whoever it is, or the Republican Party of New Hampshire, have they shown any, that they're leaning toward any one candidate? Is there any favorite at this point, or is it still pretty wide open?
There really is no favorite. It's not like the Democratic field where you can sort of see where people are lining up, where their past loyalties are, and see huge establishment support for Hillary Clinton. On the right, it's a wide open field, and there's a lot of disagreement and a lot of discussion, and it's really not clear what's going to happen.
Oh, man. I'll tell you, you're getting my juices flowing. I feel like I got to get up to New Hampshire pretty soon here. The next time there's a weekend with a lot of them, I guess probably any weekend you'll have 5 or 6 in the state, huh?
Yeah, at least many weekends.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I hope to see you on the road then, Ben. Thanks so much for your time this morning. Appreciate it. And you can say hello to Governor Pataki a little bit later and tell him, as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't have a chance.
No,
but I don't. No, maybe you shouldn't tell him that. Thanks, Ben. Talk to you again.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Ben Schreckinger. That's what I'm not.
Schreckinger. You got it.
With Politico up in New Hampshire. Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Weekend to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that. But now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. You know, we've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free Speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. Number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. Three, it's the best programming you'll find, news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going. And that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Packman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part, to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. To help you make up your mind, if you can just help us with $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. Double that to $120 a year or $10 a month, a Free Speech TV mug and a Free Speech TV T-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a free Bill Press show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Here we know 11 minutes before the top of the hour. Ben Schreckinger from Politico telling us about the scene over the weekend with 5 different candidates, Republican candidates for president, descending on New Hampshire. Most of the attention, of course, to Jeb Bush and Scott Walker. Scott Walker, who repeated that he is ready to become commander-in-chief because he was able to take on and thereby take on the terrorist ISIS and Al-Qaeda and others, because he was able to take on the labor unions in Wisconsin. Yes, he says he's ready to be president and commander-in-chief. Here's Scott Walker over the weekend.
Should we be blessed with the opportunity to earn the votes of people not only here in New Hampshire but around the country, one of the things I would take most seriously is not just being president, but being commander-in-chief.
Can you believe it? I mean, total stretch of the imagination. I believe this little Scott Walker boomlet is nothing but a boomlet, and the more we see of him, the faster his stock is going to start to fall. Let's say hello to Bob, who knows him up and close from Madison, Wisconsin. Hello, Bob.
Hi, Bill. Wish you could say good morning. It's sleepless in Wisconsin, I guess, is the best way to describe who I am.
Yeah. What's it like to see your governor suddenly become the darling of the Republican Party?
Well, he said he was my governor, but I will guarantee you he is not my governor. He represents maybe half of the people here in Wisconsin, and he's figured out a way to get them to glorify bullying people who actually work for a living. And it's an insult to the people of Wisconsin. You know, I mean, you got this guy who's traipsing around the country. The only time he came home within the last week that we know of was when he signed right to work last Monday.
Yeah,
and
right.
That was at the time when he was running for governor the second go-around. We were partners in economic development labor unions in Wisconsin, and it's just so sad. You know, I mean, he turned the gun issue into a wedge. We have a gun culture in Wisconsin that causes a lot of people who consider themselves to be sportsmen to vote for a Republican because they're afraid of the alternative, you know, Democrats handing over guns. It's not going to happen, but it sure did work here.
Yeah, and, you know, it distresses me to see that he's been able to con the people of Wisconsin into electing him in the first place, you know, defeating the recall movement and then re-electing him as governor.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm Bill, I'm hopeful we haven't seen the last recall on Scott Walker. I know people have grown wary of it because they see him getting stronger and stronger, but we're also watching him falter on the national scene. If his presence still exists here on the national scene coming into the debates in September in Iowa, I think there will be a strong effort to organize something for November. He'll have served his year on his second term. And I think the thing that I look at is he can't fight a war on two fronts. If we wind up handing him a big battle in Wisconsin and he has to win his governorship back again in June, it's going to be the distraction that he really never wanted.
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you, Bob, I really appreciate the call. It is nice to know that in Wisconsin, Scott Walker cannot fool all the people all the time. There are people there who really do have his number.
Yeah.
As a good friend, John Nichols from The Nation magazine.
Talk to the people in Wisconsin during this race for 2016. They know him best.
Absolutely. That's what they are. And this is a guy, again, who said when he was, Bob alluded to that when he was running for re-election, no, I've had the unions. We're fine now. I've done my thing on the unions. I'm tired of beating up on the unions. I'm not going to do that anymore. I have zero interest in right-to-work legislation. I'm not going to push it. I won't even sign it if it comes to me. He said all of that when he was running for re-election. And what did he do last Monday? Yeah. He signed right-to-work legislation for Wisconsin. He's trying to win the presidency on the backs of working families and working men and women of the state of Wisconsin, and we're not going to let it happen. It is the Bill Press Show on this Monday. When we come back, President Obama, what's on his schedule today, beginning of the week, after doing a great job at the Gridiron dinner Saturday night? We'll tell you coming up.
This is the Bill Press Show.
When I started learning about nutrition, about which, by the way, much less is known than you might think, I learned that what mattered most about one's health was not necessarily the nutrients good or bad, that you were consuming or staying away from, or even the calorie counts. But what predicted a healthy diet more than anything else is the fact that it was being cooked by a human being and not a corporation. Corporations cook very differently than people do. They use vast amounts of salt, fat, and sugar, much more than you would ever use in your own cooking. And the reason they do that is those are three incredibly attractive and incredibly cheap ingredients. And when they're layered properly, as in a chip or pastries and forms of junk food, they're incredibly addictive. They really press our buttons. They activate our dopamine network, our cravings. And in fact, people in the industry, they don't talk about addiction in the food industry, even though they traffic in addiction. They talk about craveability. It's the same thing. And snackability is another term they use. It's a lovely word. And then the last point about corporate cooking that's important to understand is they cook different stuff than you do at home. What they're good at, in general, they don't cook that well, but things like chips, they cook incredibly well. And here's a classic food that if you make it yourself, if you've ever made French fries, you have to wash the potatoes, you have to peel the potatoes, you have to slice the potatoes, you have to fry them in a lot of oil, you have to spatter your entire stovetop, you have to clean up, and then you have this pot of oil you have to get rid of. I mean, it's really difficult, and it's a pain. They're wonderful, but it's a pain. And if you make them yourself, you'll only eat them every 6 weeks, 2 months, because it's too much work. But when you let corporations cook for you, it's so simple and so inexpensive, and they're really good, that you will have them twice a day, as many people in America do. So you see the kinds of foods you end up with are these labor-intensive foods and desserts. These special occasion foods become everyday foods when we let industry cook for us. Eat anything you want, just cook it yourself.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Police and community relations at the top of the next hour, and then Jen Bendery here from Huffington Post. President Obama, a pretty easy schedule today. He and the Vice President get the daily briefing at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. He meets with the Council of the Great City Schools leadership in the Roosevelt Room to talk about educational issues. Rest of the day, nothing on the calendar.
Wide open.
I don't know. Maybe we'll go horseback riding.
Yeah, right. It's supposed to be
Whatever.
nice out.
No. Hit the golf course.
That'd be a tough pull on a Monday.
We have our briefing today at 12:30 with Josh Earnest.
Hey, you spending the weekend with Jerry Brown, who was in town for the Gridiron dinner. He's not running for governor again in 2018 because of term limits. One person who's not going to be running to replace him, George Clooney. There was some speculation that he might be running for office and that governor of California might be where he starts. Fox Business's Cheryl Casoni said that she has spoken to Clooney, and he said, absolutely not, I'm not running.
You know what? George Clooney, I think, could win.
I think he could, too.
And I'll tell you.
Arnold Schwarzenegger did it.
I was going to say, after two failed actors as governor of California, Ronald Reagan and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
It would be good to get a good actor and a good Democrat in as governor.
This is the Bill Press Show.
What gets you into college? Good SAT scores? High GPA? Lots of extracurriculars?
Sure, but what you really need is money.
If you don't have the cash, you'll need a loan.
And we mean huge student loans because the cost of college has risen 1,000% in the last 30 years.
This means big money for the banks that collect fees and interest.
Now, millions of young people are starting their adult lives with an average of $29,000 of loans on their backs.
Altogether, we're talking $1.2 trillion in student debt.
And more people are finding it impossible to pay them back. Welcome to the student debt crisis.
The increasing demand for higher education and cuts to state funding gave colleges a huge incentive to keep inflating prices.
I graduated about a year ago, currently in $35,000 of debt.
I am in debt about like $25,000.
I owe $23,000.
I owe over $50,000 in student loans.
38.8 million Americans owe money on a student loan. And the biggest names in banking are making huge profits off the booming student loan industry. Sallie Mae, the largest provider of private student loans, made $949 million last year.
They only give you about 6 months to look for a job. You have to start paying back the loan. It's very pressuring, especially nowadays. It's very hard to find a job.
Over half of the students graduating in 2012 could not find a decent paying job.
They either had low-wage jobs or unpaid internships or were unemployed altogether.
So you can't make the payments. You start incurring late fees, which makes the loan even harder to pay off.
And it stays with you for years, even decades.
Right now, a third of the people who started repaying their loans are delinquent or in default.
That's 13.7 million people, more than the populations of Chicago, New York, and San Francisco combined.
Worse, it's not just the borrowers who are in trouble. Many loans require co-signers.
So if the student is unable to pay, that co-signer, a father, a mother, or a grandparent, is now on the hook.
Even a grandparent's Social Security benefits can be garnished to pay the loan.
We should have an answer to this. If you get really behind in your car payment or your credit cards, you can file for bankruptcy.
But Congress has made it nearly impossible to discharge student loans through bankruptcy.
Big institutions make big profits while students try to make ends meet under crushing debt.
Is this how we want our education system to work?
The whole point of going to college is to get the career you want, but lately that's been discouraged because no one can afford school. You get a job just to pay off your student loans.
We need higher education, not higher debt.
Sign up to end the student debt crisis at higherednotdebt.org.
Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Weekend to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that, but now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. You know, we've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free Speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. Number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. Three, it's the best programming you'll find, news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going. And that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Packman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. To help you make up your mind, if you can just help us with $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. double that to $120 a year or $10 a month, a Free Speech TV mug, and a Free Speech TV T-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a Free Bill Press Show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
Mitch McConnell says, well, he promises we're going to have a vote on Loretta Lynch this week. Guess what? He broke his promise. Now he says, nope, we're going to hold her up one more time because we need to deal with abortion first. Nothing to do with Loretta Lynch. Playing politics again, which he promised not to do. Are you surprised? Hello, everybody. It is Monday, March 16. Good to see you. Hope your weekend was a good one. Mine was. Very relaxing. Nice. A little almost spring weather here in Washington, D.C. And we enjoyed it and had a good time. Hope you did too. And ready to jump into a new week and a whole new set of issues. Well, some of them have lingered over from last week. We'll tell you all about it here on the Bill Press Show, and look forward to hearing from you. We're here with you on your local progressive talk radio station, coast to coast, and on Free Speech TV, coast to coast as well. You want to join us? Give us a call at 866-55-PRESS. Send us your comments on Twitter at BP Show or on Facebook at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. To the team here, Peter Ogburn and Elisa Murphy.
Hello, Bill.
Hey, good morning. Happy Monday.
All right, ready
Here we
to go.
are.
Alicia Cruz, she's there to take your calls at 866-55-PRESS. And our videographer, Cyprian Bolding, on the job, keeping us looking good on Free Speech TV and Talker TV. That's our video stream. It's worldwide, youtube.com/Talker TV. We're going to be talking police and community relations, a new report by the Center for American Progress a little bit later this hour, as well as visiting with Jen Bendery, who covers the White House and Congress for Huffington Post. So lots coming up. But first,
This
Peter,
is the Full Court Press.
Just a couple of other stories making news. A new study took a look at whaling, the damage that humans did to whales in the 20th century. Did you know?
We're lucky there are any left.
Well, you're absolutely right when you hear these numbers. In the 20th century alone, humans were responsible for killing at least 2.8 million whales.
Unbelievable.
For a lot of different reasons, obviously. But yeah, it's stunning that we killed that many whales for oil, blubber, bones, and meat. And that's why whales are so protected now. These numbers are pretty crazy.
And so scarce now.
Yeah. New York City is taking on its latest menace, Bill. Flushable wipes.
Rats.
Flushable wipes.
Really?
You buy these wipes to take with you into the bathroom, and they say they're flushable, but they are really not that flushable. They're not biodegradable. They don't break down, and so they are clogging the plumbing in New York City. And so they're now putting forth a campaign that says if you use these wipes, do not flush them. Even if they say they're flushable, they are not flushable. A lot of things are flushable, but you probably shouldn't flush them. These wipes being one of them.
I blame it on Michael Bloomberg.
Also all Michael Bloomberg's fault, right? And
started with him.
March Madness is underway, Bill. That's right. That's right. The brackets are out. We have to fill ours out, of course. Kentucky, Villanova, Duke, and Wisconsin are your number one seeds in the tournament. Kentucky going the entire season undefeated, which is what they wanted to do. It's a big, big deal. Couple of quick numbers on the brackets. There are 9.2 quintillion different ways to fill out your bracket. If you want to go down that path. And so far, as of last night, there were 825,000 brackets filled out on ESPN.com, and 50.3% of them all have Kentucky.
Kentucky?
Yeah.
So I don't have my bracket. How can I fill it out?
I'll print some up. We'll print them out as we usually do.
All right. Yeah. Because I've been researching this. I spent most of the weekend
I know
online,
it's a big deal for you.
Looking at all these teams, and and I'll pick them out as I normally do. The names of the cities I like to pronounce. It's like Louisville.
Good criteria.
Here we go. 10 minutes now after the hour here on this Monday. Yes, indeed. It is amusing to me to watch Republicans still trying to scramble and talk their way out of why they signed this letter, this crazy letter signed by 47 Republican senators, a letter we've never seen in our lifetime, anything like it, where members of the opposition party in the United States Congress actually go over the head of the President of the United States and write a letter to the enemy. In this case, to the Supreme Ayatollah of Iran, whom everybody, all the Republicans identify as the great evil. And they would spurn, these Republicans, spurn the President of the United States just because they hate Barack Obama so much, and appeal to the Supreme Ayatollah of Iran and warn him not to make a deal with President Obama because you can't trust President Obama. And that's stunning in itself. What is more stunning to me is that this letter was crafted by a kid, a guy who's been in the Congress. He's 36, 37, I don't know. But he's been in the Congress for 60 days. He couldn't tell you how to get to the men's room. You stopped him. You're a tourist. You stop and said, pardon me, could you tell me where the men's room is? And he had no idea. He doesn't know his ass from a hot rock, particularly on foreign policy. He writes this crazy letter, and the letter was signed by John McCain, Mitch McConnell, John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Rob Portman, Chuck Grassley, Richard Shelby. Go down the list of 46 senators plus him signed this letter. It is just stunning to me why they would sign it. I mean, John McCain says now, well, you know what his excuse was? Well, he sent a lot of letters.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, right. Maybe you ought to read them first, right? McCain also said, he said we should have spent more time talking about this, I guess. But he said there was a snowstorm coming, and we were all in a hurry to get out of town.
Imagine, that's mind blowing.
It's totally mind blowing for a guy like McCain and Mitch McConnell. McConnell. If you add up the 46 senators, not Cotton, he's been there 60 years. You add up the 46 senators who signed, you probably have 500 years of experience combined in the United States Senate. And they ignored all of that experience, anything they've learned in all that time, to follow the lead of a Cub Scout.
You know what's really kind
unbelievable.
The thing to me that really sticks out about this thing is, you would expect there to be a couple of people on there, right? Just because.
Yeah. Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, of course.
Yeah.
Tom Cotton. They
Marco
sort of ran
Rubio,
as these
they're
Tea
running
Partiers.
against Obama. Right.
And then, but there are these, middle of the road or thoughtful, like Rob Portman is
Rob
on
Portman,
there,
you would think.
right? Who people hold up as this guy who's
he's the moderate, he's the
bipartisan
thoughtful
moderate
one.
guy.
Yeah.
McCain and McConnell, McConnell's pretty out there, but names that you would never think. I mean, 47 people they got.
Yeah.
That's almost all.
And Cotton hasn't backed down at all. He was with Bob Schieffer, our good friend Bob Schieffer, Sunday on Face the Nation. Now, here's how much he knows about foreign policy. He's talking about all the gains Iran has made.
Moreover, we have to stand up to Iran's attempts to drive for regional dominance. They already control Tehran. Increasingly, they control Damascus and Beirut.
Wait, breaking news. Iran controls Tehran. Does he know what the capital of Iran is? That's like saying the United States controls Washington.
What's next?
Oh, what's next?
Are they going to take Tabriz?
Are going to take Detroit?
Right.
Yeah, right. And then he says, so do we have any, maybe you think maybe you should not have done this, Bob Schieffer says?
Do you have any regrets about the way you went about this?
No regrets at all. And if the president and the Secretary of State were intent on driving a hard bargain, they would be able to point to this letter and say, they're right, as Secretary Kerry said on Wednesday in a Senate testimony, any lasting deal needs to be approved by Congress.
No, get out of Dodge.
Senators
Get out of
like
Dodge.
Joe
Get out of
Biden
Dodge.
or Jesse
Give it up.
Helms
Give it up. You're a
communicated directly with
loser.
foreign
You're a
leaders, past
loser.
presidents like
And
Ronald
anybody who
Reagan
signed that letter is
Bill
a
Clinton.
loser.
Jim
Shut up.
just-
I don't want to hear him anymore.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Before we break, I just want to say this. I want to salute the 7 Republicans who did not sign the letter. And we all should salute them. Send them a letter, make a call, tell them you're proud of them. They did the right thing. Thad Cochran of Mississippi, Dan Coates of Indiana, Susan Collins of Maine, Bob Corker of Tennessee, Lamar Alexander of Tennessee, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and Jeff Flake of Arizona. They did what we would expect any senator to do, right? Read the letter before you sign it, dumbo. We'll be right back and talk police and community relations.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Weekend to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that. But now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. You know, we've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free Speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. Number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. Three, it's the best programming you'll find, news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going. And that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Backman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. To help you make up your mind, if you can just help us with $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. Double that to $120 a year or $10 a month. a Free Speech TV mug, and a Free Speech TV t-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a free Bill Press Show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
This is the Bill Press Show.
21 minutes after the hour now here on this Monday, March 16. A lot of questions, especially after Ferguson and Staten Island, about now Madison, Wisconsin, about relations between police departments and the community. In pretty bad shape, and what can be done to improve them. The Center for American Progress, the leader on many, many issues, is out in front on this one as well, with a report that came out just toward the end of 2014. Michele Jawando is the Vice President for Legal Progress at the Center for American Progress, joining us in studio this morning. Michele, it's nice to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
So how bad is it, and what can be done about it?
Well, it is pretty bad, I would say, in terms of kind of the trust level, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we're talking about how we change relationships, one of the things that we have to look at is the actual systems. And are there things that we can do to change the system, which will then in turn begin to create that new openness and trust that we need between the community and the people who are working in the community.
So what are some of the factors that could help change the law? Is it better hiring practices for one?
So there are a few things. So one of the reports, or one of the recommendations we put forth in the report, is kind of this idea of opening up implicit bias training for police forces, and even beginning it in the academies, right? So, implicit bias is this notion that there are these kind of subconscious stereotypes that we may carry with us. We may not even be conscious of it. But what's dangerous is that we then act on those stereotypes. So when the police officer in Cleveland pulled up on Tamir Rice, he didn't see a 12-year-old boy playing with a toy gun. He saw a 20-year-old man, and he thought he was a threat, right? So it's like, how do we unpack that? And one of the things that we need to do is talk about training at inception, at the police academies, and kind of getting away from these ideas of color blindness or we don't believe or we don't see race, because once we acknowledge that there are differences, that's actually an okay thing to say, right? But it's when you act on certain stereotypes because of those differences that lead to challenges.
Body cams?
Body cams, we didn't make that recommendation in the report. We feel like body cams are a part of the conversation, but as we know with Eric Garner, there were video there, and that wasn't enough, right? So it is a
But
piece
they
of it.
weren't wearing them.
They were not. They were police. And, there are a lot of conversations around privacy and what that looks like long term. When are the cameras turned on? So while I think body cameras can be a part of the solution, they are in no way a panacea. I think more importantly, it is how do you then look at the relationships between the people in the community and the police? And instead of kind of setting these dichotomies where it's either or and we're on either side, we have to figure out how do we get everyone to recognize we're all in this community together, and our challenges, the only way we move forward from our challenges is working together.
Are there communities, we know of Ferguson and other cities in Missouri, according to the Attorney General's report, which have been preying on people of color and taking advantage of them and levying fines on them, all that kind of stuff. So we know the bad examples. Are there any cities that have really shown how the police force can, work together with the community? Yes,
and I'm excited to say that there are examples all over the country. And the Department of Justice, even in the task force on the recommendations that the task force put together, gave some examples. One is Las Vegas PD, right? So maybe 5 years ago, they similarly were in a situation where there were a high number of kind of these unarmed shootings by the police force. And one of the things that they brought forth was implicit bias training. They also kind of changed how they respond to incidents. So it wasn't always the first officer on the scene who was forced to move forward with the arrest. They waited till there were others, because unfortunately, sometimes if you are the person who responds, you may have a vantage, and when others arrive at the scene, that can kind of tamp down some of the angst. And so one of the recommendations we also put forth in the report is that the Department of Justice has done an amazing job in going to a number of different jurisdictions and putting forth ideas and recommendations on how to improve upon those jurisdictions or those police force or that particular police force. And what we recommend is, instead of just keeping the things that we learned to that jurisdiction, so in Missouri, we will see a change in the Ferguson PD. Why don't we talk about how we scale the best things that we've identified that work for communities? And if we can do that and look at situations and organizations who've improved after the Justice Department has come in, after there have been tons of feedback from stakeholders in the community, let's scale the best things that work.
Well, one of the things I think that people who are interested in this issue find so discouraging is now we have seen George Zimmerman in Florida, the officer, whoever his name was, from Staten Island, Darren Wilson now in Ferguson, and we don't know what's going to happen in Madison or in Cleveland. Cases where there have been shooting of unarmed teenagers, in this case all in black, I guess, and nothing happens to these police officers.
Right.
I mean, don't you have to sort of... they've got, people have to see that there's a price to be paid.
Yeah. This is, again, the only way we rebuild trust is look at the system. And what we can all acknowledge is that something here in the system is broken. So one of the other recommendations that we looked at is, can you take away the role of the prosecutor in that jurisdiction that would be forced to prosecute that police officer, right? We recognize that.
Because they work together,
they work in tandem. And you know what? We want them to work in tandem. But let's think about when there's an instance like what happened in Ferguson or Staten Island, all over. You have to figure out, are there things that we can do to tamp down the rhetoric and figure out, did something happen here? And if something happened here, people need to be held responsible. And one of the things that we do is say, listen, there's this place for an independent prosecutor. And there are examples of jurisdictions that are doing it to varying degrees of success. But let's look at that as a model so that we can take away some of that conflict of interest.
We just been able to scratch the surface of this report, Michele. Where can people find it and find out more about what you're doing? You
can go to the Center for American Progress. You can check out the Legal Progress team, and I'm happy to come back anytime you need.
Okay, so AmericanProgress.org, right? That gets you to the Center for American Progress, and the Legal Progress is part of that, right?
Correct.
All right. Great work. You're right on target here. Outstanding recommendations. Let's hope they're followed, and we'll see you again soon.
See you soon. Thanks so much, Bill.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Week and to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that, but now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. You know, we've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free Speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. Number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. Three, it's the best programming you'll find, news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going. And that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll could do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Packman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. To help you make up your mind, if you can just help us with $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. Double that to $120 a year or $10 a month, a Free Speech TV mug and a Free Speech TV T-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a Free Bill Press Show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help.
Because Buzz...
The most valuable morning radio show, according to The Nation magazine. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go now at 33 minutes after the hour. The Bill Press Show coming to you live from Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, our studio on Capitol Hill. And brought to you today by the United Steelworkers and their international president, Leo Gerard. The United Steelworkers, they're still building stuff in America. North America's largest industrial union, representing over 1.2 million active and retired members. and find out more about their good work at their website, usw.org. You go to the White House, she's there. You go to Congress, she's there. For Huffington Post, covering both. Jen Bendery in studio with us this morning. Hi, Jen. Good to see you.
I'm here. I'm there. I'm everywhere.
I know you are. You got it covered. Washington's your beat, huh? Wherever you want to show up any particular day.
I am one with Washington.
It's always fun to see you at the White House, but we don't see you there often enough because you've got this gang up here to take care of.
I jump back and forth, but
so they're back in town today. The House is back. How exciting. Or maybe tomorrow. I don't even know whether it's today or tomorrow, but this week at some point. And the Senate is here, so what great things can we expect from Congress this week?
Well, we left last week with the Senate appearing to move forward with a bill that they actually all agreed on, which is about human trafficking. But then at the last minute, Democrats figured out that there was a provision in the bill relating to abortion.
Which Republicans had stuck in there, right?
Which apparently had been added to the bill like a month or so prior, but no one noticed. Because it was, I guess Democrats were relying on Republicans to tell them any changes they were making to the bill.
Oh yeah,
and they said there's nothing in there. They didn't flag it specifically and say there's an abortion provision in there. Maybe they put like, here's a statute, something. But nonetheless, it was not noticed. The bill is now on the Senate floor, and Democrats have now noticed it, and they are very mad and vowing to now hold up the bill that they support otherwise in order to get that language out. But then Republicans are saying, well, hey, man, you missed it, so you got to vote for the bill.
Yeah.
And so now nothing's moving. It's a bipartisan bill.
So human trafficking, nobody is for it. Everybody's against it, right? So you would think this one issue on which you could get Republicans and Democrats to agree. We're not going to have any human trafficking, and there are going to be serious fines if you're caught or whatever, or punishment. And they can't even come together on that without putting this extra rider on there. Right? Now, by the way, the rider, as I understand it, says that none of the money, so they're criminal fines. So these victims, they can't use, if they get any money back or whatever, right, the victims, that they can't use any of that money for an abortion. That's what the language is.
It's the Hyde Amendment, so it's language that's shown up in a lot of appropriations bills.
Right.
So they're saying that, hey, this is like an appropriation bill. We're just going to put it in here like other appropriations bills. No big deal. But the difference is this bill would have a much longer statute of limitations on it, and it would be broader in some way. So it's not really the same thing that
But on the
they've done in the
substance
past.
of it, it does seem to me that if a woman who's a victim of human trafficking and is raped along the way and gets pregnant and is not allowed, why shouldn't she be allowed to use this money if she chooses to have an abortion, to pay for that abortion? Why not? I mean, what are they? It's just, to me, cruel and unnecessary. I don't see.
Well, to be clear, it's the Hyde Amendment, which has exceptions for rape and incest. But nonetheless, this language isn't really related to the bill.
No.
They can make the case that it is, but it's not. And now the bill isn't moving. And the cluster of it all is that the bill now that would have moved isn't moving. And the next thing on the queue in the Senate is confirming Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General nominee, who Democrats really want to get confirmed already, who's been waiting for months. And now it looks like Mitch McConnell is saying, well, we're going to get to her soon, but first we're doing the trafficking bill. And now the trafficking bill's not moving, so now nothing's moving.
So in effect, I mean, let's just cut to the chase. He is holding her hostage for this abortion provision attached to the human trafficking bill. And this is the same Mitch McConnell who last week said, we're going to vote this week on Loretta Lynch.
Yeah, he changed his tune. And it's just, it sucks because, I want people to get stuff done. I've been covering this for a while, and I'm not cheering for one party or the other necessarily. It's nice to see them come together on something. It really is. Sure. And when now they had something that they were on, finally in agreement, and now they just thwart it themselves because they can't help themselves. But it's just like, come on.
I know.
You're so close.
The other thing about the Loretta Lynch vote is, you mentioned Democrats really want it. So do Republicans, in the sense that they've been hounding Eric Holder, telling Obama he had to fire Eric Holder for years. Finally, Holder resigns. Obama names an appointment. They've got a chance to get rid of Eric Holder, replace him with a woman. So far as I know, now you follow this every day. I just kind of check in once in a while. I haven't heard anybody express any questions about her qualifications or credentials. Have they?
Nobody can point to anything about her credentials. What they are saying is Republicans are saying that they think that she's going to uphold the president's executive actions on immigration, and they don't like that.
They lost that battle already, really.
But they're saying that's the reason they're going to vote against her. And so it looks like the vote count is at 50 in support, which is ridiculous. There's nothing. They can't point to anything wrong with her.
She's totally qualified, stellar, has all the experience and everything.
But they're going to tie her to the president's executive actions and use that to vote against her. And by the way, she would make history if she's confirmed. She's the first African-American woman who would ever become attorney general. So now it just looks bad for them, I think. You don't want to vote against that.
Well, as I said earlier, I mean, she does have, for Republicans, she has 2 strikes against her. She's a woman and she's black. And they don't, I want to say this, and I'm not putting words in your mouth. I believe that they don't care about either one. So some of them will vote against her just for those 2 reasons. But it's sad. It's sad to see the whole thing come to this. And particularly, again, when Mitch McConnell told us, put us in charge, everything's going to run smoothly. We're going to show we know how to govern, right? No more political games, no more shutdowns, no more brinksmanship and all that kind of stuff. And not much has happened in the last 3 months.
It hasn't been pretty. It really hasn't.
All right, so for a change of tune, maybe we'll have another round of hearings on Benghazi.
Oh, my God. I hear that word now, and it's so not even associated with what actually happened in Benghazi anymore. It's like become something else unto itself.
It's taken on a life of its own.
It has.
Absolutely.
And all I can think of is now how are they going to go after Hillary Clinton with the phone records, her emails not being public, and I just see it all coming together in this colossal pile of nothing.
Well, Trey Gowdy has subpoenaed the emails, which is a first step towards subpoenaing the former Secretary of State to come back and testify again. Josh Earnest the other day said, maybe but I forget, there have been 13 different committees or something like that, or 8, I don't know how many, that have held, I don't know how many committees have held how many hearings on Benghazi.
It's been a lot.
Yeah, right.
A lot.
In the House, I don't know whether the Senate maybe.
If the Senate is involved, it's not much. It's really driven by the House Republicans.
The House Republicans, yeah.
And they didn't find anything. This started off as a House Armed Services Committee investigation, and they put out a report. They're much more, not dignified, but what's the word I'm looking for? They had a very thorough process and put out a report. And
professional, maybe.
Kind of, yeah. And they were like, we didn't really find much. That was a bipartisan report.
Right. Under the Republican House, right, the Armed Services Committee put out the report. We looked into it, and we found no wrongdoing.
Yes. But then from there, it moved over to
Darrell
Issa, who went bananas. And then they took it away from him because he was getting bad press. And they created a whole separate, specific committee just to look at Benghazi. And so now that's Trey Gowdy's committee, and he's the one who's going to take the lead. But it's been so long that they've been drumming this beat, and they just haven't found, there's nothing. I don't understand. And it's sad because people died in Benghazi, and it's like it's still this thing that people want to keep bringing up as something that is all Hillary Clinton's fault.
Now, on the email front, who is it? Lindsey Graham said he had never sent a single email. Do you believe that?
That was a really interesting segue that you just made.
Well, we're talking.
Speaking of Benghazi,
we're talking.
Lindsey Graham didn't send an email.
Yeah. Speaking of emails, I guess is what But did he say that? And do you believe it?
So he did say that. He said, I've never sent an email in my entire life. And so you can subpoena all my emails if you want, because you'll find zero. And I believe it. And I've talked to his staff. And
this is the 21st century.
He's not the only one. Apparently, Chuck Schumer hasn't sent emails.
Get out.
I think Tom Carper, Pat Roberts. There's a number of older white male U.S. senators who don't use email at all. So
And
those
not
are the
even
people running part of the country.
Not even personally. So tell us about your experience with.
So over at HuffPost, we thought it might be fun for someone to try to live like Lindsey Graham for a day and get through the workday without using your email or social media or basically living the way that Lindsey Graham does.
Not texting even.
No social media, no email. You can receive texts on your flip phone,
right.
which is how he functions, but he doesn't text them back.
Oh.
If they're worthy of a response, he will call them back. So it's all phone calls. So I tried to do my work on Friday, just like Lindsey Graham, and I thought it would be fun. And it wasn't fun at all. I was in a terrible mood. I couldn't get anything done.
I can't imagine doing that these days.
I can't.
I mean,
the anxiety of not.
I was in a really bad mood, and it was surprising because I'm pretty chill. I thought it'd be fun, and I was like, people were like, "Stay away from her today," because I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do my job seriously, and I needed to email some people. I couldn't, so I spent I don't know how long looking for their
letter.
No, I was on the internet looking for their phone numbers, and I finally found their phone numbers. I called them. In all cases, I went to voicemail. Of course. And then on voicemail, it said the best way to reach them was on email. And I was like, time is a flat circle.
Oh, my God.
It just felt like nothing would ever get accomplished.
Yeah, no. I mean,
these days, just the anxiety of, I mean, I know it's sad, and I realize this is a very real first world problem, but like, just not even having that ability, I would feel so just naked and scary. Just talking about it freaks me out.
But inefficient. It's not even worth doing. Right. I mean,
that was the bottom line. It was very inefficient. And I know Senator Graham has a full staff who does all this stuff for him, but I had an assistant for the day too, and there's still something missing because I had friends texting me. What are you up to tonight? I had my friend's 9-year-old daughter in Florida who sends me little notes sometimes, like, "Hi, Jen." And in Lindsey Graham's world, I would have to call them all back. Yeah. And it's time consuming, and then you end up talking about other stuff, and you can't get to the point. "I'm good. Are you okay? How was your class?" or something. Or, "Hey, call me at 7 after work. Let's see what we're going to do tonight." Instead, it's all phone calls, and I don't know how you can function like that.
You can't. Not today. Anybody who tells me they never send an email, it's like people who tell me they never take a vacation. I just tell them, "The dumbass." I mean, it's not even worth doing. Jen Bendery's here from Huffington Post. We're covering the Do Nothing Congress, 866-55-PRESS. You want to join in? We'll be right back. Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Just a little time out here to bring you up to date on our Pledge Weekend, to ask your help one more time. This is it for Free Speech TV. This is the last week of our pledge drive. No more excuses, no more delays. You can't put it off any longer. I know you've been waiting till the last minute. We all do that, but now is the time. We need your help, and we need to kick ass every day this week if we're going to meet our goal for this pledge drive. So really, really, really need your help. We've talked about it before. We've got a good thing going here on Free Speech TV. Number one, it's the only progressive TV channel 24/7 in this country. Free Speech TV. You won't find it anywhere else. And number two, it's the only totally free and independent television programming in this country today. No government money, no corporate money, no oil money. It's just you, our loyal and generous and well-informed viewers that keep us going. Three, it's the best programming you'll find, news and commentary anywhere on television. And you put all those together, again, we got a great thing going. We've got to keep it going. And that's what these pledge drives are all about. We'll do our job of bringing this great programming to you, the whole lineup on Free Speech TV, starting with me in the morning and ending, I don't even know where, at night after Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and David Backman and Amy Goodman and all the other good people on Free Speech TV. We'll do our part. We need you to do your part to dig in and be as generous as you can and help keep free speech on the air. Whatever you think you can give, think about that and then double it and make as big a pledge as you can. To help you make up your mind, if you can just help us with $5 a month, that's $60 a year. We'll send you a Free Speech TV mug. Double that to $120 a year or $10 a month. a Free Speech TV mug, and a Free Speech TV T-shirt. I'd like to get one of those myself. If you can double that to $240 a year or $20 a month, a free Bill Press Show mug, and a great gift, Equal Exchange African gift box. So many of you have told us how much you love that. This has some gifts from the Congo. It's all part of these proceeds for this goes to help the nuns who run the Panzi Hospital in the Republic of Congo. And the box includes coffee from the Congo, soap and lip balm, and a bracelet as well. For $360 a year, Free Speech TV mug, 2 Bill Press Show mugs, and that African gift box. And if you can do $1,000 for Free Speech TV, as several of you have, you come to Washington, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, one of our favorite spots on Capitol Hill, and you get to come in the next morning, meet the team, and be here in studio for the Bill Press Show. So help us as much as you can, any way you can. We really depend on your help. We would not be here without your help. Again, this is the last week of the pledge drive, so do it today. Go to the phone, 877-378-8669. Do it today, 877-378-8669. Do it now. Go to freespeech.org. We're really counting on you. Thanks for your help. From Huffington Post here in studio with us. I saw your boss over the weekend.
Which one?
Ryan Grimm.
Oh.
Yeah. We had a little lunch at my house on Saturday for Governor Jerry Brown, who was in town for the Gridiron dinner, and Ryan Grimm and some other reporters were there. It was good. It was good. Off the record lunch, but it was a lot of fun. Governor Brown was in rare form. Any news that you can't talk about? Well, I just said it was off the record.
I know, but was there news made that you can't talk about?
No, not really. Except he had a lot of very caustic, acerbic comments about Washington, D.C. and people that he deals with in Washington, D.C., including President Obama and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and others. Yeah, so, which was... Sounds like a good time. It was fun. It was fun. And one thing we did not talk about with Jerry Brown, but I want to talk to you about is, Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas, been there now, 75 days maybe.
Something like that.
Was on with Bob Schieffer yesterday. Bob Schieffer asking him, do you have any regrets at all about circulating that letter and getting so many people in trouble?
Do you have any regrets about the way you went about this?
No regrets at all. And if the president and the Secretary of State were intent on driving a hard bargain, they would be able to point to this letter and say, they're right, as Secretary Kerry said on Wednesday in a Senate testimony, any lasting deal needs to be approved by Congress. When past senators like Joe Biden or Jesse Helms communicated directly with foreign leaders, past presidents like Ronald Reagan.
Oh, is he saying, President Obama should really thank me for this letter? I don't think that's going to happen. Have you had a chance to talk to any of the Republicans who signed this letter, and do they have any regrets?
I mean, you've seen maybe there's been a few who have sort of walked back the degree of their support for this. They're not like saying this was a huge mistake, I never should have done this. The best you're going to get at this point is someone saying, well, maybe we should have done it more like this or something. We
thought a little bit about it.
But in political...
John McCain says, well, I sign a lot of letters.
Yeah, I know. In political speak, though, that's like, yes, I screwed up. But they're not they're not going to say that. So I think it really did blow up in their faces in a way they didn't expect.
Can you explain, the thing that puzzles me most about this, can you explain why veteran senators who've been there a long time, right? Mitch McConnell, John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Richard Shelby, you name it, Rob Portman, go down the list, Chuck Grassley, been there for decades, right? And they follow the lead of this freshman senator who hasn't been there not even 6 months.
But it's not about him.
Why would they follow his lead?
The issue.
But on foreign policy, they Lindsey Graham or John McCain, you think of them maybe as the leaders on foreign policy, or Bob Corker, but Tom Cotton.
It's not about Tom Cotton. It's the fact that he was the one that just happened to do the letter, and it's about Iran and therefore Israel, and people want to look strong, standing with Israel and strong on national defense.
But it's about writing a letter to the enemy. I mean, But you would think that people who'd been around a long time would know this is not something Americans do, right?
You would think, but again, it's Iran and Israel, and people get, very hardcore and want to look as strong as possible. So if someone's going to put out a pretty intense letter, warning the Iranian leader about what he's doing, then if you want to look really tough on Iran, you want to get out in front of this and not look like in any way that you're weak by not being part of it, which, whatever. It's crazy. I don't know why. They didn't all sign it.
No.
Bob Corker didn't sign it.
Bob Corker did not, no. And in fact, I said in the last hour, those 7 Republicans who did not sign it, to me, the Profiles in Courage Award for 2015 goes to those 7
Which
Republicans.
Is sad that that's the bar.
Exactly. What they did was what you would expect any senator to do, which is read the damn letter first before you sign it. Oh, man. Jen, so good to see you. Thanks so much for all your good work and the fun job you do as well.
I look forward to more F-bombs from you on Twitter.
That's why you should sign up for Twitter.
BP Show. Follow Bill at BP Show.
BP Show. All right. Jen Bendery here from Huffington Post. Follow her on HuffingtonPost.com and on Twitter at JBendery. You got it. We'll be right back.
This is the Bill Press Show.
The most important issue on this planet right now is to protect and conserve biodiversity in the world's oceans. And I don't think people realize just how intimate our connection is with the oceans themselves. Not only do they provide the very foundation of life and control our weather, but life just simply could not exist without a healthy ocean. The real problem, though, is apathy. It's all out of sight. It's all out of mind, and people don't even think about it. But it doesn't matter whether you live in Peoria or on the coast. The fact is, whatever happens in the ocean affects all life forms on the planet Earth. If the oceans die, then civilization collapses. We all die. We cannot live on this planet without the oceans. This is, in fact, not the planet Earth. It's the planet ocean, but because we're a land-dwelling species, we refer to it as Earth. But it is the planet ocean, and the oceans are the heart and the foundation of all life on the planet.
Two anti-government, self-described revolutionaries have shot up a pizza restaurant as well as a Walmart in Las Vegas.
The internationally syndicated political series, The David Pakman Show, provides progressive talk, analysis, and interviews with the nation's youngest radio and television host, David Pakman. Find out more and catch up on all the latest episodes by visiting our website at freespeech.org.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
Tune in to Gay USA with hosts Ann Northrup and Andy Hum for in-depth coverage of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender news. Watch Gay USA every week, only on Free Speech TV.
Hey, that's it for Monday, but we have a great Tuesday planned with Arthur Delaney and Igor Volsky, of course, and our legal expert, Avery Friedman all coming in tomorrow, which means you got to be there too. Have a great Monday. Come back again tomorrow, and we'll be looking for you.
This is the Bill Press Show.